something that a lot of people do not, really know about is the Disney adults. That's quite, a big difference about being an adult, having fun and enjoying just childhood memory and being nostalgic. And there's a difference between that and just being completely childish.
The Disney park today, you'd probably notice something strange and you'd ask yourself, where are all the children? The Disney parks are now filled with adults getting drunk in bars, eating thousands of calories worth of snacks, adults. TikTokers taking pictures in the women's bathrooms, and worse.
This is a big thing. Like, I've seen more TikTokers going to Disney and having pictures in Disney than I've seen kids. I've seen more TikTokers.
First of all, putting themselves.
And I've seen more like people that do like adult content also, like using the Disney style-ish, the Disney niche for their content also as well. That's
into
crazy.
Massive amounts of debt to go to Disney parks. Disney parks are now.
No, you didn't just say that. Went into debt to go to Disney park.
Debt to go to Disney parks. Disney parks are now filled with some of the most cringe individuals to walk the planet, also known as Disney adults. There's countless videos on YouTube which criticize Disney adults for the way they act like children and are really cringe. And while that's interesting to explore, and I'll definitely make another video on the cringe side, I want to look at Disney adults from another perspective. What is the financial cost of being a Disney adult? From over-consumerism, having to buy every single product Disney releases, every single limited edition piece of merch, to the limited edition must-eat snacks to try at every park, and even the cost of just getting in.
That looks juicy though.
To the limited edition must-eat snacks to try at every park, and even the cost of just getting into the parks. How on earth do these people afford it?
This couple, they spent $21,000 in 1 month when they make $7,000 a month. They're obsessed with Disney. Lots of Disney adults are. They spent $2,000 on Disney exclusive passes, and then went to Disney World, spent a lot of money on that. Then they're going to Disney World 2 times next month, and then 1 time in the summer.
That's a lot of money on Disney.
Yeah.
But unlike most lesbians, I think they're gonna last forever though, because they're on the same page. And usually couples that aren't on the same page about money, that's where they divorce. Them, they're on the same page about wanting to ruin their lives for Disney.
Before we look at the insane costs of Disney, we need to take a step back and understand how the parks themselves got to be so expensive in the first place. 40 years ago, trips to Disney were easy and pretty affordable for the average family. All you'd have to think about was your ticket, a hotel if you wanted to stay for a few days, and whatever food you fancied eating at the park. Going to Disney today, however, is a totally different story. It's a stack of microtransactions that add up, leaving guests broke by the time they leave, checking their bank accounts and being horrified with the amount of money they've ended up spending.
Especially with credit cards, you can just keep. I mean, you can't just, but people feel like they can just keep spending and just spending, just buying stuff and just paying for stuff and just enjoying, having the fun of their life. Like it's just this one-time thing. You don't come to Disney every day, and Disney is it's just a place where you just have fun and just let your childhood dream come to life and something like that. And then you just spend this whole money on whatever and anything, and even the money you don't have, and before you realize it,
in 1971
money's
cost
gone.
$3.50. And if inflation were the only factor, it would cost around $27 today. But now, a one-day ticket starts at $189. Making Disney more expensive has been a key strategic goal by the company, conveniently amplified by the term Disney adult growing in popularity around 2015. The trend and term instantly became a meme, with people laughing at their own obsession with Disney. From bawling their eyes out from meeting their favorite characters.
Pooh, I waited 30 years to meet you.
Damn. 30 years to meet Pooh? How old are you? You're in your 30s?
To their insane collections
You're in your 30s and that is how you behave meeting Pooh?
Merch.
The girls that get it.
That's some old, crusty guy that's barely making minimum wage in that costume. The guy is sweating. The guy is sweating under, like he's sweating his balls off. Might not be a guy, might be a lady, but still, whoever it is, they're sweating their ass off in that suit.
To their insane collections of toys and Disney merch.
The girls that get it, and the girls that don't. Well, I'm in 8 ball shooting, double-fisted, drinking son of a gun.
There was one very important thing that Disney realized that these obsessive adult fans had that the kids do not, and that was money. As the parks expanded and people were willing to spend more, Disney piled on extra charges since 2016, and they didn't seem to be stopping. Dynamic pricing, paid parking, individual lightning lane, Fast Pass Plus, paid ride reservations, special event reservations, dining plans, photo pass, all while removing free services like the free Fast Pass and the free airport transport services. When you take a look at how these services increase the price so dramatically, it's actually pretty scary. Dynamic pricing works by increasing the price when there's more demand for a ticket. School holidays and peak times were at least double the price as usual. The Fast Pass Plus
it's not the same thing that PlayStation is also trying to do, like dynamic pricing, where like if people are buying more games and playing more games, they get to pay higher for the games. Or people that don't play games often, that don't buy games often, they get to pay less for the game because they be like, yo, you know what? You don't really pay that much for games, so maybe you don't have that much money. So you know what? You can buy it for so amount. Like a game that's worth $20, maybe you can buy for like 10 or 8 or something like that. I'm just saying, I'm exaggerating this way. But then for someone that buys the game regularly, you might have to buy for that exact amount, $20 or 18 if they're being generous, or sometimes maybe even 25, maybe at a more expensive price, because you pay for it, so at the end of the day it kind of like balances each other out.
Uses dynamic pricing.
Dynamic
the park is
pricing
extremely busy and the rides are
bullshit.
popular.
It's also what FIFA is doing at the World Cup now also, that Canada is not allowing them to do dynamic pricing. So
So if the park is extremely busy and the rides are popular, the price for the Fast Pass Plus will be too. Dropping $500 for a Fast Pass is genuinely insane, and it's only for one day too. It actually costs more than the ticket itself. But the sad thing is, because the parks are so busy, you pretty much have to buy the Fast Passes unless you only want to go on 3 or 4 rides and wait in queues for hours. From an English perspective, this concept is pretty insane. Like, yeah, we do have Fast Passes at UK theme parks, but you can get them for like £10 at parks like Thorpe Park and Alton Towers. And I get they might not be as busy as Disney World, but is it really worth the £500 difference? And I think it's worth mentioning that it's actually optional to have fast passes at theme parks. Several European parks outright refuse to use them because from a moral perspective, they don't believe that you should be able to skip a queue because you're richer than some other person, or more willing to go into debt to get them. 2 European theme parks, Bellewaerde and Efteling, say that they don't offer fast passes because we don't wish to give anyone preferential treatment. To be honest, it is a complete money grab by Disney, so they can get more guests into the park and have a payable option to skip the queues. And because the queues are so long, buying a fast pass is just as important as buying a ticket now. It's basically unavoidable if you want to spend more time on the rides and wait in the queues. All of these additional costs slowly add up, forcing guests to spend more without even realizing it, adding to their Disney debt. Even though the list of additional charges that Disney's added over the past 10 years are absolutely insane, there's something else that Disney has incorporated that changed the game forever. For over 40 years, you couldn't have alcohol at a lot of Disney's parks.
Oh, now with the adults,
of course. But flash forward to now, and alcohol is one of the big reasons Disney adults come to the parks. Since the adults drink. Disney now caters to their
adults. And the more you drink, the higher the chances of you're gonna spend more, because you know you're drinking, you're having fun, you're feeling spicy, you're feeling excited about something. About being at Disney, and you want to try, something else. You want to do something that you wouldn't really necessarily do while you're sober. You try doing it while you're drunk. You come up with dumb ideas when you're drunk, so you spend more.
Brands offering an absolutely insane variety of alcoholic drinks available in all of the parks. But it's not just a few cocktails here and there, and they've even developed a famous drinking game in Epcot known as Drinking Around the World, where guests spend up to 6 hours on a bar crawl through 8 themed countries, each with a cocktail inspired by the place they're in.
Nothing can stop us now. I'll tell you how. We're gonna make it happen. Let's take a ride and spend the day.
Really, people make tattoos for this? It's your sign to get a drinking around the water too. Damn.
Aside from the awful audio, you get the point here. Disney is catering more towards Disney adults, who have a lot more money to spend than the children. And as a quick side note, I really hope that tattoo was fake, because that is extremely embarrassing. But not only is this drinking game at Epcot great for getting people to spend over $200 on drinks alone if they complete the challenge, but selling alcoholic drinks is much more lucrative than sodas alone. A Coke or a juice for a child probably costs around $4, but a cocktail is closer to $20. The markup on these drinks is easy because the margins are so high. It definitely doesn't cost $20 to make a cocktail, but guests will happily pay for it because it's Disney themed. Serving alcohol also changes who comes to Disney and why. Instead of it for being for kids' birthdays or special occasions for kids, it's now a place for adult-only holidays and stag or hen do's, or bachelor parties, I think, to my American subscribers. There's even been entire Reddit threads talking about the alcohol consumption in Disney, with one person saying it went from being a family-friendly experience to being a mob of drunk, dehydrated, aggressive who behave worse than hungry children. Alcohol also encourages guests to stay longer, spending more time in the bars and restaurants, conveniently buy more food. I don't know about you, but when I've had a drink, I get absolutely starving, and it seems
that's why the pizzerias are always open right after the bars and the clubs and stuff are closed, because they know people have been drinking. You're gonna need something to eat afterwards,
like Disney knows this too. And what better way to take advantage of all those slightly buzzed or just straight up drunk guests than the largest selection of snacks in the world, littered across almost every path in the park. At Disney, trying the snacks are just as important as going on the rides and meeting the characters. The snacks are also ridiculously expensive, often between $10 to $20 for one thing. And the most ridiculous thing that I found was literally a stick with one piece of bacon on it for $10.
Who's calling it?
That's bullshit. That can be $10. That's just bacon. That doesn't even look bacony enough. That looks like a snaky bacon. That looks like a snake that has been transformed into a bacon. That has been made to look like a bacon. That doesn't look like a real bacon. That looks unhealthy. I've never seen. Well, you know what? I don't think I've seen bacon that thick. Like look at the sides. Look at the sides. That bacon is thick, and it's looking like it's been marinated in sugar. I feel like it's also sweet.
Who's calling that shit? Who's calling that shit?
The snacks are already expensive, but slap a Mickey shape on there and you instantly pay more for just a shape.
Some basic theme park snacks that happen to be Mickey shaped and then cost $5 million. You'll spend almost $8 on a Mickey pretzel that is just okay, so I recommend instead spending that money on the Pepper Jack pretzel at Cheshire Cafe. It's a warm pretzel stuffed with gooey pepper jack cheese, and it's just way more worth it in my opinion. 2, Mickey bars are obviously iconic, but they're $6 for a basic chocolate ice cream bar. So instead, you can get a fresh single scoop of ice cream at Plaza Ice Cream Parlor with Mickey ears for $4.99.
But it's not just one or two snacks that guests are having in the parks, as they're often spending over $50 on just snacks alone, and not even considering the main meals that they'll be having throughout the day.
This is a work of art. This is a work of art. This is a work of art. This is a work of art.
$8.
This is a work of art. But this is a work of art.
Couples going to the parks together will often be spending over $100 every day just on snacks. This is just simply too much to try. Disney creates FOMO over snacks, calling them must-try to create scarcity, and they often change seasonally. Once they're gone, and they don't come back. So if guests are there, they feel like they need to try it all there and then. They're obviously all themed.
You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, how can I make myself scarce? Because once I'm here, you know what? That's true. I'm actually scarce. So see, y'all should come have a taste of this. Not that so y'all should come like and subscribe to my channel, because now that I'm here, and when I'm gone, I'm gone. You'll never be able to have a taste of me. That's weird. I'm sorry. Sorry. Come back. Now that I'm here, and then when this life is over and I'm not here anymore, there will never be another me again, unless I end up having kids. But then, might still not be the best version of myself that I am right now. So, how do you even make scarcity about yourself? Well, how don't you feel some kind of way when every single time you go to a place and they tell you like, yo, if you don't have this right now, it's gonna be gone. It's gonna be gone forever. I feel like at some point you should be like, you know what, let it go. You know what is it exactly? Maybe I'll go and make it. I don't like. It can't be that bad. If you can make it, someone else can make it. I know it's not like it's something that can never be made by anyone else in the world. If something has been thought of and been made, trust me, there's a recipe for it. So I don't get how people have this fear of like, oh, I'm missing out on something incredible at Disney and I have to try it and go bankrupt for it. I don't think it makes sense for me.
So Disney adults need to try them because the food is from their favorite shows. Who cares if they can't afford it? They can just use the credit cards to buy them.
Oh, what's your favorite Disney show? Just popped in my head. What's your favorite Disney show? I don't know. I don't have any.
As we're talking about Disney adults, it wouldn't feel right to not mention the plus-size park hoppers. And they're just as popular for their food recommendations as they are for their controversial "If I fit, I sit" videos, which I have covered before on the channel.
Hey everyone, we're Plus Size Park Hoppers, and this is everything we ate in a day as Plus Size best friends at Disney's Magic Kingdom. We started our day by having lunch at the Plaza Restaurant on Main Street. We find that the food tastes better than any of the quick service options available at Magic Kingdom, and it's pretty affordable too. Katie started off with the Plaza Loaded Fries, which can be made gluten-free. These come with melted cheddar, bacon, green onion, and spicy sour cream. Ashley and I both got the triple-decker turkey club sandwich. This sandwich is really good, and it's our go-to every time we go. We also thought that the portion was pretty big for the price. Katie got the Chipotle barbecue pork sandwich with a gluten-free bun. And for dessert, she had a strawberry milkshake. Later on that day, Katie got the Aurora cone, but without a cone to make it gluten-free from Storybook Treats. And Ashley and I split the candied bacon skewer from Westward Ho. This was the perfect combination of salty and sweet. And also,
yeah, it looks sweet. Did I not say that? It looks sweet. It looked like a little bit marinated in some sugar.
Before we left the park, we were thirsty for ice cream, so Katie headed over to Aloha Isle and got the coconut pineapple Dole Whip. Then Ashley and I headed over to the Plaza Ice Cream Parlor. We each got the All-American Sundae, which is one of our favorite sweet treats in Magic Kingdom. If you're a fan of chocolate and peanut butter, then this is the ice cream for you. When we got back to Saratoga Springs, we headed to the Artist Palette for dinner. Ashley and I both got the shrimp with green beans and mashed potatoes, which was pretty good for a quick service dinner. Katie got the chicken and rice bowl, but we accidentally forgot to record it. And then we ended our night in the hot tub.
Focusing just on what Katie eats, because she is one of the biggest people there, and I'm not trying to bully her, but she eats net.
This guy is diabolical. She's one of the biggest people there. I didn't know they were doing weight hits before starting. And coming in at 300 pounds tall or white or extreme or round or 300 pounds round, 300 pounds thick, 300 pounds, I don't know. Scrumptious, crumptious, full. I don't know. How should I say it? Well, I don't know how to say it in weigh-ins, Listen to this.
When we got back to Saratoga Springs, Katie got the chicken and rice bowl, but we accidentally
Katie does be looking like she's the biggest guy.
And then we ended our night in the hot tub.
Focusing just on what Katie eats, because she is one of the biggest people there, and I'm not trying to bully her, but she eats nearly 5,000 calories worth of food and snacks at the park in a single day, not even including what she'll have been eaten before or after the video. This food came to over $50 as well, which is just so expensive for one day, especially with the majority of it being from snacks. Now, I totally agree when you're at Disney, you should eat whatever you want, because it's a treat and you probably won't go again for a few years.
Exactly.
I mean, even I did a 10k calorie challenge, and I won't be doing one again anytime soon. But the plus-size park hoppers seem to be going to a park every week. This isn't cheap, nor is it healthy. Now, the plus-size park hoppers do have a social media presence, so they might be able to afford this. But normal Disney adults are doing this too. They're going to Disney way more than they can afford and eating way more than they can afford to. They're so consumed by Disney that they totally let themselves go wild and have no boundaries when it comes to indulging and consuming whatever they want, whether it's food, merchandise, or going to the parks multiple times a year. And for all of these reasons that we've looked at, it's no wonder why so many people have gone into debt just to be able to go to Disney. 45% of guests with young children have gone into debt to be able to go to Disney. And 24% of adults with no children have gone into debt to go to Disney too. And it's rising too, as stats are up 33% from the same survey in 2020.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it? I don't feel like it is worth it. But I feel like everyone has like their pet peeve though. Or everyone has like this sort of addiction or something they're addicted to, something that they burn their money on. And I think for a lot of people, for some people it's alcohol. Some people are just alcoholics. They spend their money drinking every day. Some people it's like smoking. The amount of money they spend on smoking, being a chain smoker or something like that. Some people it's like masturbation or something like that. Some people it's like fashion. They just buy clothes. They don't really think it through. For these people, it's fucking going to Disney, and that's probably one of the weirdest one I've seen. I've not seen people eat cardboard. I've seen people say their addiction is cardboard, but this is crazy.
From the posts that I've seen, part of the magic of Disney is also going into debt. It's joked about like it's funny, like it's cooler to be in debt than not. Like it's some sort of badge of honor to say, I went into debt so I could go to Disney. They act as if Disney's some friendly corporation who's happy to lend you the money, and they like to pretend that it's not an entity that would send the bailiffs when you ultimately miss a payment. I think a huge part of this is caused by the childlike nature of Disney guests and why they feel entitled to go. It's like a form of therapy for them. Many Disney adults explain their obsession with Disney as being a result of not having a proper childhood.
Nah. I've never been to Disney, and I don't feel like I'm missing out on a lot because I've never been. And even if I end up going to Disney, I don't feel like I'll feel in a way where I have to go back every single week as an adult. I think you might be right in the sense that some people feel like they aren't able to like cope with the trauma of they have as a child or something like that. But I don't think Disney is not therapy. So it doesn't make sense why you feel like Disney is the place where you can feel better and live your childhood dreams. No, and I was gonna say before that, you know what? I respect people that do it if they have the money for it, because you only live once and you might as well spend money on what makes you happy and what gives you joy, on what you feel excited about, and just live your life till the end of your days and just have no regrets. But also at the same time, for people that can't afford to do it and they're seeing it as because Disney gives me this proper childhood that I've not had. Like, are you okay? Are you normal? How about now you have a proper adulthood? How about that? How about you stop forgetting about your childhood and start focusing on being an adult? How about that? How is it going for you as an adult? Okay, it didn't go well for you as a child. How is it not going for you as an adult now that you have control over it? No, you know what you're doing. You're fucking that up also. Now you don't have a good childhood, and now you're not gonna have a good adulthood because you're gonna be in debt and you're gonna be a pensioner. You're not gonna have a place to live. You're not even gonna be able to live in an assisted home or whatever because you don't have any money, and you're in debt. And you're gonna end up on the streets, and you're gonna be wondering, how did I end up here? Duh.
That's true. There's many children who grew up in households that couldn't afford to go to Disney, or they had some sort
of trauma, explanation.
But that shouldn't be worth going into thousands of dollars of debt for.
Yeah, exactly. There are many of children that grew up in households that couldn't go to Disney. But there are also many of children that grew up in households that couldn't go to France and go and visit Paris or something like that. There are many of children that grew up in households that couldn't go to Rome or some places like they want to be like Munich or whatever, or the Great Wall of China or something like that. But you don't see them going there every week once they become an adult. I mean, make it make sense. Make it make sense. There are plenty of people that didn't get to do what they could as a kid. But you don't say because now you're an adult, you can afford it, then you start going bankrupt over it. It's okay if you enjoy yourself once in a while on something you didn't enjoy as a kid. But as an adult, fuck off.
The worst part about this TikTok video is the number of comments supporting the creator, encouraging each other to continue to go into debt to solve their childhood traumas. This healed my inner child. This would cure my depression. The best thing is you're making memories and enjoying life, so he is worth what you paid. Hope you had a good time. That is all that matters. Maybe it's just me, but I don't see how seeing a person in a suit in real life would cure your trauma.
Exactly.
You'd be much better off seeing a therapist. But it's not just people who are going into debt specifically because of Disney. Many Disney adults are still choosing to go when they are already thousands of dollars in debt.
Trips are coming up. So, please don't tell me trips are coming up.
Well, I've been trying to plan a Disney cruise.
That's insanely expensive.
I know.
That? How much is that going to cost?
Well,
how much is that going to cost?
For the weeks that I needed to go.
How much is that going to cost?
Because he can't get off work. He has shut down on 2 weeks a year. So the price for the week we needed to go was going to be $8,000 for the cruise.
Oh my! That is a month of your income, lady. You said you want to control the money because you cannot trust him, so that you guys can pay off debt, so that you can get married. That is what you opened this conversation with. You, that is not the truth.
Yeah.
That is both. both.
I get wanting to go on expensive holidays, I really do. But the best thing you can do instead is to be financially stable first. If you absolutely need to get away, there are so many things you can do for cheap. At least from in the UK, I can go somewhere in Europe for less than £500. I know America's a bit different, but there are definitely cheaper places to go than Disney. And to put it into perspective, just how expensive
£500, that's too much. For £200, you can travel. You can travel to some places in Europe and you'll be okay. Over the weekend, of course, you're not going on a long journey and you're not doing something crazy. But there are places you could go for over the weekend. There are hotels you could rent for less than $50 or something like that. Again, go to Hungary, incredible place. Less than $50 you get hotels, and less than $100 you get your flight back and forth.
Disney trips can get. This guy spent over 30 grand to take his entire family to Disney.
We stayed here for a little over a week and it was about 30 grand.
Did you use any debt to pay for that trip?
No, we had savings that we had.
Which resort?
Oh, that's smart.
All sport. All inclusive was the way to go for us. I took 5 grandchildren and all their parents.
I'm no Disney expert, but people in the comments of this video point out that the All-Star Sports Hotel is actually the worst one. So it's not that they're getting the luxury experience from that 30 grand. If you've got the money to burn, sure, spend this much. But the fact that ordinary people with regular jobs are trying to be on the same level is just insane to me. It's no surprise people have to go into debt to afford this. On Caleb Hammer's financial audit, a Disney adult couple joined the show to talk about their insane debt and why they still choose to go to Disney despite this.
You spent $1,000 on just being at Disney. On here, $1,000. Just on the Disney crap.
I mean,
for a day, for 1 day, $1,000 for a day. Guys, you make $7 a month net and you blew through a seventh of it in a day. Unacceptable. Missing our student loan payments, i.e. the money you borrowed, federally backed, subsidized from us, the taxpayers. These ones right here, us, you're not paying it back. But you're going to Disney?
Well, we're going to pay it back when I get our next paycheck.
Maybe we'll see that, or you can have a bonus trip to Disney because there's a hidden relative's birthday. Let me guess, you have another bonus trip
to Disney. Well, next month, both trips we're going on, we're going with other people. So we've already...
What did I say? They have another trip to Disney plan.
Committed.
Both trips, 2 trips.
Splitting the hotel with them.
Yeah, call them and say, oh, wait, I forgot that I'm literally a poor.
Broke.
These girls are so delusional that they think going to Disney is more important than getting out of debt, that they even add to it. Debt is no joke, and people like this tend to forget that. It can ruin your life. They can lose their houses, their cars, their entire livelihoods, and in this case, all to go to Disney. Even for people who try to just avoid going into debt just to visit the parks, Disney has created new schemes to entice them to. In this video, a woman shares her story of how she was essentially duped into a points-based scheme at Disney that ended up leaving her with significant debt.
This is part 3 of how we got into massive debt, and this is one of my most embarrassing debts that we have. A few years ago, our family took a trip to Disney, and we impulsively purchased the Disney Vacation Club. And we did so by financing it. If you don't know what the Disney Vacation Club, or DVC, is, it's kind of like a timeshare for Disney World. Except instead of having one specific resort or specific weeks of the year that you get to use it, it's a point system. You buy a certain number of points, and then those points can get redeemed at any DVC resort any time of the year that they have availability. That means you can end up staying at Disney World properties, Disneyland properties, and they also have other DVC resorts like in Hawaii and in Europe. So it definitely provides like a lot of opportunity to travel. Now, with that being said, this is a very bougie luxury purchase that we had no business making. There were some incentives when we purchased, so the total cost of financing was around $27,000. Now, was this stupid? Yes, I know that. But I promise you, our hearts were in a good place, but like our financial literacy was zero.
Financing 27 grand worth.
Financial literacy might be zero, but I know when £27,000 is leaving my pocket. Sorry, $27,000 is leaving my pocket. I know it's not about financial literacy anymore. I know I'm getting fucked. I know I'm getting my past turned upside down. I'm getting rammed by Dr. Dredd or whatever the fuck his name. I'm getting bled out. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Like the 27,000 for what? I think people that do this, we encourage them. I think we encourage them a lot. We encourage them a lot because we don't tell them the truth. And I think that is it. I think because we, as a community, we try to be nice, we try to be cuddly, we try to be like, oh, it's okay, it's all right, I understand, this is what you want, this is what you wish for, so just do your best next time, maybe. No. Be harder on them. Fuck them.
To Disney is just absolutely insane to me. That could pay for a house deposit or even multiple cars. There's so many things that you could do with that money instead of buying a Disney holiday. And the worst part about all of this is that Disney adults 100% support each other. If they're all in debt together, there's no judgment. Disney is such an all-encompassing...
Let there be judgment. Let there be judgment. Let us judge each other. Let me look into your eyes and judge you for the stupid decisions you made. And judge me for the stupid decisions I've made. And maybe I will be better tomorrow. But if I can't judge you for when you've been stupid, then tomorrow you'll still be stupid again. I mean, am I making sense? Stupid today, stupid tomorrow, stupid forever.
An entity with so much to buy that many Disney adults can go into debt without even having to go to the parks. They spend thousands on limited edition merch, collectibles, and literally anything with Disney printed on it. This really is overconsumption at its finest. I can't help but stare at all those Mickey ears and wonder what else could have been bought instead. They're not cheap either, around $50 each. And I'm no Disney expert, I might be after this video, but I'm sure that the ears...
Damn, how many is that? That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Just like 13 on one side only. And there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 parts of like 13 each or something like that. Let's just say it's 10 each and there's 7 parts of it. That's like 70 of them. And then not to talk of the other ones that are on the table here like this. So that's like 70 times 50, how much is that? 4,500?
Anything with Disney printed like on it. This really is overconsumption at its finest. I can't help but stare at all those Mickey ears and wonder what else could have been bought instead. They're not cheap either, around $50 each. And I'm no Disney expert, I might be after this video, but I'm sure that the ears are bought to be worn in the parks. So does this creator plan on going to Disney over 100 times to wear each pair at a different time?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. There are so many Disney adults who have an absolutely insane amount of merch too. I don't want to be too judgmental, but at this point it just seems like hoarding. You don't do anything with any of this, it's just
Let's be judgmental.
It's not like other collectibles like Warhammer figures maybe, that people spend lots of time painting or having hundreds of books to read. It's just stuff. A lot of Disney merch can only be bought at specific parks too, not online or in any stores outside the parks. So there's an exclusivity of that makes it so much more popular. Ultimately, I can understand why parents want to take their kids to Disney even though they're in debt. But there are ways to make it cheaper. They can stay off-site instead of park hotels to make it cheaper. Bring some of their own food and drinks, and maybe even stay for a shorter time. But Disney adults, I think if you have so much debt already and will be going into more debt just to go to Disney, I just don't think it's worth going, to be honest. Now, I know that this video is pretty finance heavy, so if you want me to react to more of the sort of cringe side of Disney adults, let me know in the comments below.
Yo, at the end of the day, my brother has nailed it. He's nailed it. Except for the part where he said he doesn't want to be judged. Let us be judging each other. Let us be judging. See, there's a huge problem, and I'm not gonna base it only on the Disney adults here. I'm gonna make it general, and I think there's a problem with the general adults basically. And I think a lot of adults are being childish in this generation, this present day and age, and I wonder why. They've been really childish. They're blaming everything on like childhood trauma or something like that. Like everyone has had childhood trauma. Like generations before us, my generation, and the generation coming out of it have childhood trauma because you would never be raised the way you want to be raised. Because what's okay about being raised right now as a kid is not going to be okay in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, because there's going to be some woke shit that comes up that's going to make like, oh, do you remember when our parents used to make us do this? Like, there were generations that it was okay to get whooped by your parents. And now it's not. And yeah, you would have some trauma about that. And now when you look back at it, you're like, yo, that really didn't make sense. And there might be the generation that comes afterwards that'll be like, yo, you know what? Our parents weren't that disciplined. Yeah, and they might see that as, as a traumatic event also, because you know what? They didn't show us any bit of discipline, so now we've gone down the way and it's just the way life is. So you can't just complain on because of how your childhood trauma is, and then decide that you want to waste your adulthood away by going into debt and not living your life in the right way. I mean, what's the right way of living your life? There's no right way of living your life, but like at least curbing yourself in a way that you don't overspend, you don't overextend yourself, you don't overextend your finances. Like people make sense. Make sense. Should we be smacking each other in the face and telling each other the truth? No, I would rather not be doing that. But the least you could be doing is to be. Let's bring back judgment. Let's bring back judgment. See, I used to remember when I would be misbehaving, And people that are not even related to my family will look at me with some evil eye, and I'll be like, yeah, damn, what I'm doing must be really terrible, right? And then I'll just be like, okay, my bad, it's okay. I'm not gonna misbehave anymore. And you just get that. You just get that judgment of how people will judge you when you misbehave. It stops you from doing stupid shit. But now these days, everyone just takes pride in doing stupid shit because you know what? No, you're not allowed to judge me. I'm allowed to live my life the best way I can. Yeah, live your life the best way you can. But at the end of the day, the rest of the society, the rest of the community has to pick up after you. But see, at the end of the day, if you like, go to Disney 100 times a year and run into debt. That is how you want to live your life. But consider 10, 20, 30 years from now. Is that what you really want to look back to? Is that what you really want to be paying off right now? Do you want to be in your 60s and still be paying off debt when you should be saving for your pension? Do you want to be in your 60s, 70s, 80s and not be able to rest simply because you've made debt in your 20s and 30s that you can't pay up for the rest of your life? Is that how you want to live the rest of your life? And what exactly is so special about Disney that you have to go into debt for? I guess that's up to you to find out and to decide if it's actually really worth it.